this thing at my last show. I made a mistake. I let the audience guess what country I'm from, and this woman just jumped up in the audience and said, "You look like you're from fucking Narnia, man." Yeah, that's when I realized I look like I've been living in the closet my whole life. If you don't know what Narnia is, it's basically the opposite of Wakanda. But there's a lion that's Jesus somehow for some reason. No, I'm actually Latin American. Any Latinos in the house? Woo! Hey! Where are you from, man?
República Dominicana.
Dominican Republic. All right, let's move on. There was someone from Mexico here, right? Mexico? Mexico! What are you doing in Germany? Are you learning how to knock down a wall just in case? I've been holding on that for 2 hours.
Maybe afterwards.
Maybe afterwards. Yeah, you probably have to need. Yeah, okay. Right. Gotta go to Berlin. So I'm Latin American, and this other show, I say I'm Latin American. This guy pops up and goes like, like India, which is technically a country you can come from. You know, statistically very probable. But I told him, I was like, no man, Latin American. He goes like, I don't know man, you look Indian. I don't know what the fuck. He's like, damn. But I thought it was funny because you know how like 500 years ago, there was this other guy who also thought it was India? But it was South America. You guys know who I mean, right? I told this guy, man, you know, like Columbus. He's like, no, man, I'm pretty sure that was Gandhi. He's like, fuck. But he was so self-confident, I'm so stupid sometimes that for a second I thought, maybe it was Gandhi. I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. But I insist, it's like, no man, Columbus. Columbus is like, I'm pretty sure there was a detective on TV, man. It's like, fuck. Columbus would be a pretty shitty detective, man. He would be the worst fucking detective. But I think I'd still like to watch that show, and I think it would just be called CSI. Columbus Seeking India. And it fails. I'm actually from the country that was named after Columbus. It's called Columbustan, of course. No, this is stupid. I am from Colombia. Any Colombians in the audience? Anyone been to Colombia? You guys afraid of Colombians or what the fuck? Too much Netflix. No, I'm actually what is known as a harmless Colombian. A friend of mine told me recently, he's like, you know what, man? You don't look anything like a cocaine cowboy. If anything, you look like a cocaine accountant. Judging by your reaction, I guess it's true. Gotta work on my swag. Well, I'm actually half Colombian, half German. That's the right reaction. Yeah, you don't cheer for German. It sounds cool, right? Half Colombian, half German, right? But if you think about it, in terms of like national stereotypes, I'm fucked. Because here in Germany, I say Colombia, I usually get, hey, cocaine man. When I'm in Colombia and I say like, I'm half German, I usually get, hey, Nazi. Yeah, anywhere else in the world, I'm a cocaine Nazi. We all know cocaine Nazis are the worst fucking Nazis. They're way too motivated, those motherfuckers. I have like a mushroom Nazi any day. That's my new motto. Let's give LSD to the AFD. And MDMA to the KKK. It'll be a better world. That's what I say. This really interesting thing happened recently. A lot of people have been talking about sex. That's kind of a theme today. My girlfriend had an orgasm. I was in the room. I was allowed. No, but the cool thing was like when she reached her peak, climax, if you will, her phone lit up and it went ping. And I was so frazzled and confused that for a second I thought, does she have an app that keeps track? Because if not, that would be a pretty cool business idea. Although for me, it would probably just be like a spam folder full of unread messages. It's like, oh, look at this, the extension is written with a 3, that's interesting. No, it's weird. And I think reached a climax is an interesting expression, right? We say that sometimes for orgasms. But I think it's appropriate for women, because when women do it, it really looks like they're soaring from a high mountain into like an infinite sky, like an eagle. When we do it, we just fall into a pit of shame and sadness. Speaking about shame, I'm going to the United States on Sunday. Any Americans? Don't cheer. No, I'm going to the States. I like going there, but I had to fill in this form. This ESTA form. Has anyone filled that in? ESTA? Some of you know it. And there was like 3 questions in there that kind of caught my eye. And it was like, have you ever been arrested for carrying illegal substances? Have you ever been involved in Nazi Germany? And have you ever committed a terrorist act? And I'm half Colombian and half German. Like if I ever convert to Islam, I'm just gonna wear like a orange onesie to the fucking airport with like a back door on my ass, just to help them speed up the process. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun trip. Yeah. By the way, what do you guys think of my haircut today? Give me a whoop. It's all right? Good. Yeah, I went to the hairdresser today for the first time in like 3 years. Because I have a thing about hairdressers, like I don't really like them. Any hairdressers in the audience? Probably should have asked that before. No? Well, here's my thing with hairdressers. They ask you what you want, but deep down, I don't think they give a shit. They just do whatever they want. And that never happens anywhere else. Like, you don't go to a restaurant, you order a pizza margarita, and like 20 minutes later, the waiter comes like, here's your fucking currywurst. I was like, well, I'm a vegetarian. It's like, oh, it's better that way, don't worry about it. They're very passive-aggressive, right? And if I've learned anything in this life, if anyone's being passive-aggressive, and they have fucking scissors next to your ear, just let them do what they want. It's probably better that way. Like for me, going to the hairdresser is like being like a volunteer hostage for a little while, and then you gotta pay for it. This last show, like someone popped up and said like, hey, my best friend's a hairdresser, and I was like, I think there's a name for that. Stockholm Syndrome. At this hairdresser today, this guy wanted to wash my hair, and I was a bit reluctant because for me, it looks a little bit like, what's the word? Waterboarding? That was weird. But the last time I went to the hairdresser 3 years ago, let me tell you about it. I walk in there, and I sit down, and I talk to the guy, and the guy goes like, oh, you have a funny accent. It's like, where are you from? And I go, oh, I'm Colombia. And he goes, really? Thought you'd be Indian. I said, all right. And then he went like, oh, Colombia? Wow. We had someone from Spain here yesterday. I was like, what the fuck, man? It's not even the same fucking continent. You an idiot? I mean, I thought that, but I didn't say it. Because he had a pair of fucking scissors next to my ear. What I did say was it Fernando? And it was. Statistically very probable, you know? By the way, this year I went to Belgium, so you don't fucking have to. Any Belgians in the audience? Probably should have asked that before. No, Belgium's fine. It's a beautiful country, right? Has anyone been there? Belgium? Anyone? Do you have a few people? But here's the thing about Belgium, is like, I used to think that like Germany had the worst service in the known universe. But then I went to Belgium, and I saw the fucking darkness. Like, here's the thing, like, have you ever, like, wait, what's your name, man? Chris, you're Chris, right? Chris, have you ever, like, walked into the room, and, like, you banged your shin against the edge of the bed? And then, like...
Not recently.
Not recently? Anyone, you know that feeling, like you know, like you're, like it's like the worst feeling you think you've ever had. And then your partner walks in the room and kicks you in the balls for no reason. That's Belgian service. So it's like, you know how like when you go into a restaurant here in Germany, you kind of have the feeling that the parents of everyone who works there were murdered that morning, but they still have to go to work for some fucking reason. In Belgium, you murdered the parents, and the punishment is Belgian service. Alright, let me leave you on this. I've been in Germany for a while, I've been trying to learn the language, and I've really realized like it's a very precise language, right? Sometimes too precise. Like, has anyone been to London here? Yeah, you've taken the train, you know, when you exit the train, you always hear the same announcement, right? Mind the gap. 3 words. It's pretty fucking precise.